So today we have one of our black entrepreneurs here in Houston, Texas. I happen to sample the food. It is good. I'm a tamale expert, so I did sample the food. She's going to explain who she is, what she does, and what are her future goals. So first of all, state your name and your business name and where we are actually, so people know where to find you.
So I am Chef Latoya Larkin. I am the owner of Black Girl Tamales food product. Currently we are in my cafe, Mango Deli and Cafe, which is the exclusive vendor for Black Girl Tamales until I get retail placement.
Okay, now talk to us a little bit about how you got started. I know I've talked to several other chefs went to culinary school, some just got experience going to different mentors. How did you actually get started?
So the way that I got started, for one of what I got started cooking and making tamales was with my grandmother. So my grandmother, she learned how to make tamales from her Hispanic friend when she lived out in California. Her first husband was actually stationed in San Diego out in California. Her friend taught her how to make tamales, so she brought the concept back to Texas when she came back, and that was her side hustle. So she taught me how to cook. I was her sous chef in a sense. Learned how to cook when I was 8. Anything that she needed help with, and then she also just kind of let me freestyle and kind of learn how to do some things. So that's kind of how I learned how to cook, and then of course I took it on professionally after I graduated high school. I went to culinary school, so straight after high school I went to culinary school, so I've pretty much been a chef all my life.
Oh, that's good. That's cool. And that's kind of dear to my heart. My grandmother immigrated from Mexico, and all I know is pork and chicken tamales.
Right.
But today I ate oxtail tamales and tamales with turkey and greens. Was that what it was?
Uh-huh.
It was delicious. I just gotta say. So I'm gonna give you a plug. That's two thumbs up.
That's a plus from the tamale connoisseur. That's
right.
A plus.
I'm a tamale connoisseur. I have a hard time getting them at the store, finding them, whatever.
Okay.
I have to seek somebody out in my community that's Hispanic and see if they're doing anything but they usually just do it for the holidays.
Right.
So
and then like you said, the chicken and pork, and that's actually what I grew up making was the chicken and pork.
Yeah, my grandmother made chicken pork, and she made a sweet one that I don't like that had raisins in it. I think that's a Mexican thing. But anyway, that's what she did. Okay, so talk to us about maybe your future endeavors and goals, what you're planning on, let's say in the next couple of years.
Okay, so in the next couple of years, we're looking to scale it. So I'm just going to kind of plant the seed and put it out there. We're looking to scale it. So I'm looking for funders, for investors to help scale the concept. Actually, today makes a year that we have our 3 flavors manufactured. The top 3 flavors, which are the collard green, the smoked turkey, the one that you tried.
Right.
The smothered pork chop, and the jerk chicken. So today marks our year.
You gotta take something home.
Yeah, look, I got you. Look, you know I got you.
Chef, Chef, we're gonna be lifelong friends.
Look, so so I'm super happy about that. With today actually marking the anniversary, because you know how your phone picks up those memories from letting.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So like when the memories came up, and so I was thinking about that. I was like, yeah, today does mark a year from when we actually was placed in my hand, had the boxes and all for them to be delivered, and actually have a manufacturer for it to come to life. So it's even more of a blessing that, we look at it today, like I'm actually having my own spot for vending, like I said, until I get into grocery retail. But that's mainly the goal, grocery retail. If we can go ahead and sell it and scale it, I'm also looking for that as well. I know a lot of people, when they do start businesses, they get attached to them,
right,
and they don't want to let it go. But I feel like the same way I started this concept, I can start another one.
Oh, yes.
So once I get it to, get that number to look right, I'm willing to sell and scale. Also another thing that I'm really looking forward to doing, there's a project in the making, is my commercial kitchen. So I would like to start a commercial kitchen.
Explain to me what that is. I don't know what that is.
Oh, not a problem. So commercial kitchen is actually going to be kind of like an incubator, like a one-stop shop. So one thing that I realized when I acquired this cafe, I wanted to get a lot of people to get their products in, to give them some vending space. Right. I couldn't carry them though, however, because they're making stuff out their house, and I get it. I made tamales out my house for the longest until I got into a commercial kitchen, that commercial space. I did it for the longest out my house, so I totally understand it. However, though, with the being in the city of Houston and the city limits, they want any products that are carried outside of that you make at your own facility. They want it to come from a commercial kitchen.
Right.
So a commercial kitchen, that's just going to be like a big spot where we have stations with commercial equipment. Like let's say someone that makes like that. They can come in, rent out the space for a designated time, and then they can come in. They have all the free will space to come in, and commercial equipment that have access
Like the commercial stove, the what do they call the? I was working with the chef a couple of months ago, and the kitchen was beautiful. It had a stove, a chef stove. Then it had walk-in freezer and refrigerator. Then it also had like these convection stoves where they're already preheated, and then all you have to do is put your stuff in there and turn on the timer.
Yeah, all of that.
I thought it was just amazing.
All of that. So like you said, with the convection ovens, the stoves, blast chillers. So that's like when you make something, then you hurry up and you can blast it really quick. You can cool it down, so you won't have to wait like the traditional amount of time that you normally have to wait. You put in the blast chiller instead of have to wait hours and hours. It's going to chill in about 30 to an hour, depending on what you have, the volume of what you have. Along with the convection ovens and all of that. Let me see what else.
Even the thing, I don't know what it's called, but it's almost like a big mixer.
Yeah.
By
the kitchen.
Yeah, the kitchen one. That's a big machine that stand up. Yeah, I like that.
All of that.
I didn't use that one. I used something else, but I like that one. I used to work at a Godfather's Pizza, and we put our dough mix in there, so we mix it so we can make the pizza. So I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
and also like a food processor, you can slice up your onions and garlic and oregano if you're going to do that. So that's a fantastic idea to rent that space for me.
Yeah, and then because also, like you mentioned with the walk-in coolers, we can also rent out space as well. Because like, let's say they just need to come in and prep their stuff. They're going to take their stuff with them. That's fine. But let's say we have a baker that comes in and they bake bread or they bake cookies. Well, if you bake a lot of stuff, you really don't want to pack that stuff out. You're going to need somewhere to store that, right? So we can rent them out freezer space and storage space and stuff like that. If you have a food truck or anything like that, because that's another thing with food trucks, technically you're not supposed to prep in the truck. You're supposed to have an actual
outside
commercial kitchen space.
Gotcha.
You're supposed that is certified by the city or the county that you're regulated in. You're supposed to prep it there, and then and then take it to the truck, and then you can serve and kind of prep on hand, but not really chop up and cook and all that type of stuff. You can't do that in the truck. You have to do that at an actual facility. Yeah. And so again, we could allow that for the food trucks, have storage space if they need somewhere to store their trucks, because again, especially people that are in the city, you can't store your truck. You'll get a ticket.
Right.
You try to park your truck somewhere in the city. So yeah, we have that designated space right there. And then also with me being an educator as well, because I was before I stepped out like a full-time entrepreneur as an educator. So ran the culinary program for 8 years, teaching.
Where at?
Spring High School at Spring ISD.
Oh, okay.
So that's actually my alumni. I graduated class of '99.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, went back to teach. And so with having that concept, with that education aspect, then I want to teach business classes, because a lot of people, they have dope ideas, know how to cook, know how to bake, do all these things, but they really don't have that back ends of like,
finances,
you're doing this business, but you should at least get you a DBA,
Right.
take this amount of money, go down to the courthouse file to get you a DBA just to get started, Then we can scale it later with your LLC, S Corp, and all of that other stuff down the line, but at least just to get you started, again, you're trying to build your business credit, you need an address, right? So we'll be able to rent out the address for the facility, just like a one-stop shop, just to really for minority entrepreneurs, because it is really hard for us. I just came back from Kentucky with James Beard. I'm a legacy mentor chef, and part of that program, it was founded for us, minorities.
Right.
Because a lot of times we at the bottom of the totem pole. We get the short end, especially a black woman. We are truly at the bottom of the totem pole. Like all the funding and stuff. They did a demographic saying that in the last 10 years, black women have been the fastest demographic to start businesses, but we can't scale them. So we could never, a lot of them, and I did it for years, worked that job, and still around here hustling, and private chef, going to cook for people and stuff like that, caterings and stuff like that, but it can never go that far because we still got to have that full-time job. So that incubator is definitely going to be near and dear, just to help people really realize, like, hey, it's the whole game out here. We need to learn how to play that. Y'all don't know how to play because it wasn't taught to us.
Right.
So that type of thing.
Now, this is a little more of my self-interest. Are you going to be able to offer, maybe in your commercial kitchen, maybe a food workshop once a month or something like that? Because you said, you are an educator, right?
Right.
So, like, black men like us, you know, our mamas cook for us, you know, our significant other cook for us. A lot of times we were out on jobs that required you to be 12, 14 hours. So we couldn't come home and cook. You know what I mean? So now that we're single and we need to cook for ourselves, and maybe it's something we enjoy. Like, I enjoy it, I just never learned until I started dealing with chefs, and they were teaching me how to make cakes and do my own marinara sauce and that stuff. So I think that that would be a great idea for you to have, not necessarily even every month, you know, you could have it every season, where you encourage a lot of men, period. You know, you can do like an Eventbrite, you know, a day with a chef type of thing.
I'm smiling from ear to ear because that is so funny. One of my really good friends, chef friends of mine, me and her went to school, culinary school together the first time around. We were actually talking about that. She teaches, she does a side thing, she does sushi classes, right? And so we kind of made the joke about how a lot of men that are single, you know, because they still playing these games and they like, too old, basically, to still be playing the games they play. So we make the joke like, you know, they have to need somebody to change their diapers at the nursing home. And I'm like, well, in the midst of that, need some cooking classes, because a lot of them, you know, they probably grew up on noodles and a bunch
top
of
ramen. When I went to college, it was top ramen, you know, and Spam.
A bunch of unhealthy stuff, and I was like, you know, we getting up there in age, and it's like, now you need to learn how to really cook some stuff with substance and some good things. So we were actually thinking about that, doing a cooking class tailored towards the single man. Because
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, because, you know, a lot of, like, y'all just freestyling. You know, long as you throw some stuff together, and, you know, as long as it tastes decent, and look at you, who's worried about the plate presentation?
Nobody. By yourself, right?
Exactly. So that's what I was telling. I was like, and then, you know, when they dating and stuff, you know, if they want to impress somebody, they
that's it.
Put it on the.